Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing part 2 of the Giant Legion Devastator set, which are number 3 and 4, which are Long Haul and Hook. Now, after opening the last set, I was extremely excited to open these guys. The other one was just so phenomenal, and it was the two arms of Devastator, and now these guys are going to form the torso and the full middle body part of him. So Hook is going to be the upper body, and then Long Haul will be pretty much the lower body abdomen section. So we're going to start out as usual. The packaging is awesome. It feels great to open these guys. You do have to fix a couple of things up, but that's totally fine. They feel like legitimate toys, like legitimate construction vehicle diecast that you could get, and that's amazing. Something I have not seen with Hasbro, at least in a very, very long time. So this is awesome. The ratchet joint on almost everything feels great. It's just phenomenal. I really like it. The colors are great, obviously, because Devastator is supreme. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started on Hook, which is 03. Now, as for instructions, it's pretty simple in the sense that it's not too long, it's not too big. The pictures are like an 8 out of 10. Sometimes things are a little complicated because it won't show you when they flip the figure around. You kind of have to use your intuition, which is totally fine. It just takes a little bit longer to get used to, but that's okay. And one thing I like about these guys is that all of their weapon storage is actually pretty hidden, which is amazing. We love it when we can hide their guns. This set does come with the 2 guns for everyone, and then some accessories to add onto the vehicle modes. Now this is Hook's gun. It does extend out, which is used for the later portion of Devastator, and it does go right underneath there. Alright, so let's start by turning him into his robot form. We're going to unpin these little side things here to allow for the arms to come out. And then we're going to start by taking apart the legs. Now here, it's a whole lot of untabbing, which is really fun once you get used to it. You just have to know what to untab and where. But it's a lot of folding, which does end up looking pretty decent, which I really do enjoy for this figure. Alright, so here we are, just unfolding a whole bunch of flaps, opening them up, closing them. And now we're just opening them up, and then they will end up hiding the inner part of his legs later. So first we're going to just shimmy everything over and extend it into believable legs pretty much. And they do tab in. It doesn't make a super satisfying sound, but it's just fun knowing that things are relatively secured in there. So next step is we're just going to tab everything in like so. You do have tabs at the bottom and at the knee joint. I usually go with the knee joint first, and once that's tabbed in properly, it makes it a lot easier to tab in the rest. You could keep it loose. It'll even itself out as you do the rest of the transformation, but once it's in, it won't come back out, which is awesome. Perfect. And then after that, we can just put these little gate things over on the front of his legs, and then those are good to go. The side panels of the front of the vehicles will flip over to the bottom, which is going to reveal the feet of the figure. You'll start by, I did have to use my nail to get this out because it's a little sturdy, but you do take out the front part of the foot first, and then the back part is nested in there. After that, we're just going to open up the arms like so, and then we just start folding the body down so that we could create that full figure. You are able to push his head out from there, and then you just have to sort of crunch his abs a little bit and his back in order to let you slide everything down, and it does tab in, which is very, very nice. Then you can tab in the top purple part as well. Make sure to rotate the arms so they're front facing. you do have these little flaps that you can close up. As for articulation, it's always just perfect. He's got ankle tilt and more than 90 degrees. Great, he stands by himself and he's got like some decent heft to him on every area. He's on top heavy, bottom heavy, so it's pretty nice. Now, just like the last ones, we do have the LEDs to put on, so you'll have to get out your circuit there, and then the battery that they give you, which is really nice. Make sure you put the plus side, which is the fully silver side, pointed towards the front. And then after that, you can slide that in where the head is. And once it's in there, you can close that up with the little black piece that they also give, which is great. As for his gun, it does have a little magnet at the end of it, and it can be finicky, but that's how you turn off the LED. I do struggle with it. It's that little blurb that's on the side. Honestly, if you can find a better magnet to use in the guns, it's just more reliable. But yeah, the gun fits in perfectly fine. It looks great. The articulation is wonderful. Solid robot to vehicle form. Absolutely. And then next up, we are going to turn him into his combiner mode. That one, unfortunately, is my least favorite of everything related to this line. It's a pain, but you'll see the process and I'll keep talking through it. So unlike our last two figures here, this isn't sort of very similar to turning into the vehicle form. It's a fully different third mode. So we're going to straighten out the hook, and then we're going to unpin the top part and the back of it so that you can hide the head. And this thing will get in the way often. It will flap because it is not going to be secured until you actually do the combination with long haul. But you'll start by pinning in the back parts of his arms right there into the back piece. Then after that, you can take off this little purple belt part, which is holding everything together. Don't forget to lift up these little purple flaps. The instructions relatively showed fine. They're just awkward because everything's just a big purple ball. But yeah, you just have to move these little flaps over to the side, and you have those gray areas that you also do move out. It'll just help with connecting him to long haul later. Now the next part is to take out Devastator's head, which looks absolutely phenomenal. It's got a huge presence to it. And then let's go ahead and fold those little feet over and hide them just like how we did do for the vehicle form. And then we do actually keep most of the shape of his legs, but you'll see the little modifications we do. So we'll open up these little great things, and then we will start by making him do the splits. And then we're gonna unpin and fold a bunch of these tabs over. This is where things start to get a little bit tricky. So we're going to start by folding some things over. And then one thing that isn't super fun about this figure is that, yeah, the hook part is going to just flop with gravity, which is why maybe it's better to keep it upside down. As you can see, it can get very annoying. But anyways, next step is we do use that little swivel there for the feet, and we sort of put it at a 90-degree angle like so. Perfect. And after that, we do put the flaps over. We just bring them over like so, and it'll just help with the stability of the figure at a later point. Now I am going to cut off the combiner mode because there's nothing else we can do without long haul. So what I'm going to do actually is I'll make another video for when we combine everything together, and it'll make a little bit more sense. I'll just add the extra steps after that. But as far as it goes, he's good for now. Long haul's instructions are just as long or short, however you like it, and I'm way happier with this guy than I am with Hook. So he's got his little submachine gun there, which does also go inside and pin into that little pocket there, so you are able to hide it, which is nice. It just looks great. It's a huge truck. Anyways, let's go ahead and transform this guy. So we can start by trying to separate the legs. I'm going to fold down these little side pieces, and then we're going to get rid of the back wheels first. So those pin out like so. And then after that, we can rotate them 180 degrees, and it does kind of get stopped by a little marker there, which is perfect. And then we can start bringing the legs down. So let's start by unpinning and then folding these feet, and then you can slide them in place like so. And I'm telling you right now, his legs look awesome, like a very strong guy. It looks like a construction guy. And then yeah, you'll pin the back wheels in there. He's got ratchet joints, which is perfect. Front wheels you can unpin like so, and then you will bring it up to the front of the vehicles, and it does have a pin in there too. All really great stuff. And then you can swivel up the lower body like so. And then this little green piece does end up being the chest piece of the figure, so my little mistake here is that I rotated it when I should have. But we're gonna fix that right afterwards. So here I rotated it all the way to the back, but obviously we want it to be for the front of the figure, so I'll fix that in a moment. But for the arms, they feel really awkward taking them out, but you just kind of have to get used to like bending the plastic just enough for you to be able to do that without like feeling stressed about it. So here you go. It's easier to take off than it is to put back on. Those little flaps on the side go up, and the arms just kind of unfold like so. After that, you can hide the little gap fillers there, which is amazing. And then the head comes out, and this you do have to shimmy your way around the plastic, but it is just to keep the purple parts secure, and they do actually pin into it, which is very nice. And let's go ahead and fix these arms just to make things look more normal. And then, like I mentioned, this will become the chest piece of him. There's no pin in that area, but the silver plates do pin in, and the side does as well, which is nice and allows you to just have everything secure. You do hear a little click when you pin it, which is great for knowing when things are done. And that is the robot mode after you close down his little pelvic area. Next step is obviously going to be the LED lights, and this is the hardest out of all of them to put the LED lights with the cover in, just because of the way that his little green head piece is positioned. Obviously I didn't want to take out the head of the figure, so it was just a little difficult to say the least. So enjoy watching me struggle for a second. Alright, so now that it's in, we can use this little submachine gun to turn on the LEDs. Now always aim for the back of the head because that tends to be where things are. It is at the purple and black connector parts of the gun, which is a little annoying. I wish it was on the tip. It's a lot easier to deal with that. I ended up using Hook's gun, as you saw, in order just to get it to work. As for a gun, it feels a little small compared to the rest of the figure, but that's okay. The figure itself is pretty cool. The joints do bend in more than 90 degrees, which is amazing. And he's got huge fists, so that's fun for some posing. Anyways, let's go ahead and turn him into his upper body, lower body type of combiner part. So we're going to start by opening up the chest and then hiding the head like so. And then we're going to recreate the front of the truck by bringing the shoulders up, pinning them in, and then doing a little bit of rotating around the wrists. Don't forget to get rid of your little gap fillers. And then, yeah, this is the part that I struggle sometimes on. Don't forget the little side pieces, just because it's hard. You just kind of have to like fold things a little bit, bend things a little bit closer to tolerances, but it's okay. It works out. You don't do this too often, hopefully. Or maybe the more often you do it, it'll get easier. Anyways, let's rotate this purple piece once more. And then let's take out this little piece down there. This is later going to be used to help secure the connection with the hook. Perfect. And then this is where I realized I never put on this extra little ladder piece from the vehicle form, so that's where we're putting it on right now. And then you just open up the little purple flaps like so, and that creates his little purple chest wing. And then as you can see from the instructions, next steps is to do a whole lot of leg movement. So we're going to start with doing the splits. And then we're going to rotate it 180 degrees. This one does feel a little bit more complicated for this step, because after that we're going to put the legs back to normal. Then we're going to rotate down 180 degrees in the other way with the swivel of the waist, but then we rotate most of the legs backwards. And then let's go ahead and untab the back wheels here, and then we're going to take the whole light green shins, like the entire part, and we just shimmy it all the way up there, and it does pin in there, which is awesome and very stable. You might need to shimmy it around a couple times before you get it fully pinned in. After that, you close that little panel onto the wheel, and it does have a tab for you to click it in, which is so amazing. It's just so satisfying to have everything that will just click into place. And if you're having any issues, click the back wheel in place first, and then it'll help line up for the green part at the front. That's what I ended up doing with one of the two legs. Anyways, after that, we can take out the little chest piece that we had earlier, and then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it over like I did, and then this does not tab into anywhere, which at first was confusing, but it's just so you can have more dynamic of a like half skirt pose for Devastator. Next step is we're going to rotate the heels backwards, and then that'll help us with the connection to the feet later. Now that looks really good for a middle body. I'm a huge fan of that. The connection with hook is very dreadful, but it does generally look like that. You just put them on, connect a couple things. We'll deal with that later. Anyways, that's the two figures. It's unnecessary set, a little bit more difficult, tolerances are a little bit more annoying, but overall it's still really good. Long haul has a lot of power to it. So now let's just turn it back into the robot modes. I'll be quiet now just so you can enjoy this, and I'll probably have something to think about. this is where I realized I actually did not do it super right, and you want to make sure that the front of the figure is the piece with the extra gold in there. But I realized it too late, and I couldn't actually rotate his waist without undoing a bunch of things. So keep that in mind whenever you are transforming him. If it really does matter to have it in the right orientation, that you want to catch it early on, because then you're stuck doing what I did with this half-ass transformation and blah 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 blah, and just an extra waste of time, you know? Anyways, now he's good to go. He looks great. Perfect, actually. He's got the ankle tilt. Wonderful, wonderful figure. And now let's get hooked back to a more respected form. So we're gonna bring a bunch of these tabs and panels back, and then we can put all the purple pieces back together. Let's bring the legs back down. Panels, and then re-pin them into the knee and sides. After that, we can put the crates back onto the front of the leg, and then bring the little ankles with the feet there for us to open up and expand, and then that's good to go. Let's repeat the process on the other side. And then after that, let's put this little purple piece back in, untab the arms, bring the head back in for storage, and then we can start folding everything over in itself so that the hook is able to be normal size. I'm going to pin the purple part back on, make sure the back piece slides down normally and then pins in as well. After that, it's pretty simple. We'll just rotate the arms, and there is that little back piece I talked about earlier, but not super necessary because I actually kept it in there for the combiner mode. Then we'll just bring the hook back down, and yeah, that's it. You can bring the hook forward to have sort of like a shoulder rocket, but not necessary, and it's way better used in the combiner mode. But here is me struggling to get the LEDs on, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about these figures down in the comments below. Could they have made anything better? I'm pretty happy with them, and as figures themselves, they're a solid 7 out of 10 overall. 10 out of 10 figures. Thank you.